Gas. And the civil service, according to Sam McBride in the Belfast Telegraph, has finally admitted that Jane Brady's massive salary hike for, in inverted commas, satisfactory performance came despite no assessment of whether her performance was satisfactory at all. The civil service has also admitted that just days after the Belfast Telegraph revealed Ms Brady had seen her annual salary and pension contributions soar to more than £270,000, she's now getting another huge increase, with her basic salary rising by more than £16,000 this month. This is something that doesn't please you, I presume?
Very much so. This is a governance and accountability issue, and it's one that I will be chasing to try and get answers for. It's up to Jane Brady to carry out the performance appraisals for other permanent secretaries, but it seems to be in the case of Jane Brady herself, there hasn't been a performance appraisal. And my query and my concern is, who signed that off for her to get this increase? You've mentioned there from this month that her basic salary is increasing by £16,000, taking her remuneration package to more than £290,000 a year, including pension. There needs to be some accountability here. I welcome the clarity from the Department of Finance, which now passes the next part of the project to try and get to the truth over to the First and Deputy First Minister, because that's who is responsible for the head of the civil service, and I will be taking every opportunity I can. I've put down an urgent oral today to try and get some clarity, but failing that, the First and Deputy First Minister are coming to the committee this Wednesday, where I will try, if I'm given the time to do so, to try and explore some of these options and get to the bottom of it. It's a huge amount of money, and in just 4 years, Jane Brady's salary has risen from £167,000, that was back in 2021, to £211,000 in 2025. So that's an increase of £43,718. There needs to be accountability, there needs to be answers. And there has to be a performance appraisal for any substantial increase. And Jane Brady shouldn't be treated any differently to that.
Yes, a performance appraisal would be an understandable request, but we also have to keep in mind that people like Jane Brady are much sought after, and in the private sector she probably could earn considerably more than that.
You always hear this argument from time to time to justify somebody's outrageous salary, but let's look at it here. The Treasury's top official gets $200,000. The Home Office Permanent Secretary is $205,000. The Ministry of Defence top official, last available figures, was $290,000. Do we really believe that the head of the civil service in Northern Ireland justifies that huge sum of money? If that money is due, well, I want to see a performance appraisal to tell me that is a justifiable sum, and this increase is justifiable due to a satisfactory outcome from a performance appraisal.
And do you feel that the salaries at the higher level within the civil service are too high per se?
I believe that the salaries in the civil service do require public scrutiny. Bearing in mind it is taxpayers' money. If somebody's doing the job and there's paperwork to back up them doing that job, well, there's justification for an increase in salary. But to have somebody that's the head of the civil service who is responsible for carrying out the performance appraisals for other permanent secretaries, not requiring, it appears in this case, to set a performance appraisal and then get a huge increase in their salary, I don't think it's proper accountability.
Her workload, however, must be immense. You can imagine what it's like. You finish on a Friday, you're not going to get much sleep, tossing and turning on a Saturday and Sunday night in bed, waiting to go back to work on Monday. It's a very challenging role.
A bit like your own role, Frank. I would imagine you have to go through the same pressures with your job. Listen, people apply for the job. That's what they take on. They know what they're getting into when they apply for any job. So I don't think we can use that as an excuse here for no performance appraisal. When somebody applies for a job, they know what they're getting into. And that may or may not be the case in Miss Brady's in her job role, but I certainly don't believe that should be an excuse used to not have a performance appraisal carried out for this huge increase that we've now found out she's getting.
Okay. Timothy Gaston from the TUV.